We're going to inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, the amazing Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. I am the daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, the granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn, and the great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas, Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and the great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today's topic is unfinished growth, and the lives are sponsored by the elements H2O. It's a beautiful thing. When I say drink water, you will go ahead and drink water. So let's go ahead and get our first iteration of water in. Good morning, Daisy. Drink water. All right. So we are talking about unfinished growth. And the reason why we're talking about unfinished growth is because that means that it's not finished. It was funny to me inside my head. All right, so Ra, don't know. Give me a second. Dara, Sarah, is that correct? Let me know if I got it, because I listened to it twice yesterday and once this morning. Sarah, thumbs up, thumbs down, halfway if I'm close to it. All right, and good morning, Lacey, again. So I'm waiting to get my review. Good morning, Derek. Sarah, did I get it? And I sent you a follow-up message. Good morning, Jared. Okay, I'll wait and see. All right, so we're talking about unfinished growth. So growth doesn't stop because you've reached the goal. Growth stops when you've decided the version of yourself that got you here is all you'll ever need. It's all you ever need. Sar is pronounced like Cesar. So yes. Because the reason why I'm saying it is because I went to school with 2 Daras. And so I think I'm saying so Zara. Is that it? Zara. I'm saying it right. Okay, got it. Because as soon as you said it, I'm like, you graduated with 2 Daras. You just take the D off and drop the S on there. Put the S on there. So I have to do, sometimes I can do word association and it will help me. So I will continue to practice it too. Sarah. There we go, Sarah. And then the other part is, and this is the thing that I tell people too, these high-ass cheekbones with these big-ass teeth, there's certain stuff I can't even just do because these motherfuckers, your bones, these are actually my cheekbones. So some of it is I can't even say, like my eyes, it's hard to, and this shit just is, it's hard for me to wear sunglasses because these are my cheekbones. So sunglasses sit right here. So that's why it looks like I'm not really moving my mouth, but I'm saying a whole lot. It's because literally how everything is positioned, that becomes the issue as well. So people are like, oh my God, those cheekbones. I'm like, yeah, okay, try to get some glasses and some sunglasses and see what happens when your bone is right. This is literally right here. All this is cheekbone. So interesting. Anyway, Sarah. Okay, so I will continue to work on it, but I'm closer to, it definitely ain't Sarah and it ain't Sarah. So got it. So going back, and thank you for that. Growth doesn't stop because you reach the goal. Growth stops when you decide the version of yourself that got you here is all you'll ever need. So I'm going to ask a question of the level 1s through 5s. Have you, before you got over here, had you told yourself, this is all you gonna need? This it right here. I am, look, Mom, I made it. You aren't actually watching anything because you're about to get blocked. So you're going to be watching the next live under me. That's funny. You're not watching me. I tell you that much. I tell you what you won't be watching. You won't be confused for long. Okay. They starting early this morning. Airing opportunity, fucking bitches. You can do this shit if you want to. So, yeah. So prior to you getting here, had you decided that this was all you ever gonna need? This is it. Sarah said no. Sarah. Okay, I'm getting it. Said no. Lacey is thinking. Now remember over here, Sarah, you have to type a brain emoji or ellipse. So see how Lacey and Jared did it? And then you respond. So what you're doing by typing that into the comments is you're giving yourself time for the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, Miss Darlene, to come online so you can actually answer the question. So you're letting me know I'm thinking, and then I'm going to answer the question. Okay, Jared is thinking, Desmond is thinking. So you said, this is it. This is all I got. Good morning, Bridget. Bridget, the answer, the question on the table is, I read, growth doesn't stop because you reached a goal. Growth stops when you decide the version of yourself that got you here is all you'll ever need. No, I knew there was more and prayed, and bam, there you go. Fire. The question is, Daisy, I'll say it again. Growth doesn't stop because you've reached a goal. Growth stops when you decide the version of yourself that got you here is all you'll ever need. So, before you got over here, before you found me, had you reached the point where you said, this is all I'm ever going to need? This is all I'm ever going to need. This is to that movie with what's his name? Jack Nicholas and what's her name? Rest in peace. This is as good as it gets. Jared said, I always wanted to do better without doing the work, stuck in a comfort zone. That's an interesting dynamic, Jared. You wanted to do better without actually doing the work to do better. I was like, yeah, man, we're going to get this together. Hey, what's on ESPN tonight? Hey, let's just watch some basketball and go get, hey, but did you have, how many honey buns did you have today? 3? Nah, fuck it. Get 2 more. We good. Daisy is thinking. And Bridget is as well. And Derek. Actually saying I want to do better was doing better in my mind. And Derek said, no way. Right. So you was releasing the, now it makes sense, Jared, because you was saying it and then you was getting your phasic dopamine release. Good morning, Dr. Olagun. So you were getting your dopamine release. So that's why you just kept saying it, because that was like, yeah, I'm about to do this. I sure am. Think about doing this. Okay, and good morning, Monique. All right. So many people think unfinished growth looks like I thought I was on my way, and then here come Dr. Donna. Like, here you go. Here go a whole, here go a whole thing that you was missing. Here go, go ahead and deal with this. Many people think unfinished growth looks like quitting college, abandoning a business, or never finishing a project. And sometimes it does. But unfinished growth often hides behind success. What? No, ma'am, I prayed for help, as Lacey said, and bam, here I go. like what's his name? Mystical. Danger. Okay. Never mind. Okay, Dr. Don, I was driving. That's why I was listening to motivational speeches for so long. You was getting your phasic dopamine hit for 7 years. You like, I got this. I'll put on for my city. I put on. You got, yeah, we about to do this. You gotta make it mad as you wanted to be. Putting spokes in my wheels. Yes, ma'am. Excuse me. So, yeah, you'll think it's quitting college and abandoning businesses and never finishing projects. And sometimes that's true. But unfinished growth often hides behind success. You mastered the job. Then you stayed at that motherfucker for 20 years. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You lost weight. Then you stopped developing your relationship with food. You ain't got no healthy relationship with food now. You become financially stable, but never developed emotional stability. Uh-oh. You became an amazing parent, but stopped growing as an individual. I love when women's profile photo says, I'm Hayden's mom. Profile. Jaden's mom. Caden Layden, mom of 5. Your identity is wrapped up in that. And then you stop being an individual. A lot of sizzle and fizzle. You learned how to communicate better until you were challenged by someone difficult. So on the surface, none of that appears to be unfinished growth because something was completed. But growth is different than completion. Growth is different than completion. How y'all feel about that? Growth is different than completion. What's happening? What's the Insula doing? What's your ACC saying? Growth is different from completion. Good morning, Tiffany. Daisy is thinking. Sarah is thinking. And another one down. Tiffany said, thank you. Another one bites dust. Interesting. I will see where you're going. All right. Let's see where you're taking this, Doc. Driving to the building now. Yes, ma'am. Lacey. I'll read your answers as they come up, but then I don't want to read this sentence until they do. What's up, YouTube? All right. Zara said, I get it because you could complete something out of busybodiedness, but not grow through the hard pinches in life like I had to do last week. My partner attacked me, but I still went to the job interview. Yeah. Are you good? Tiffany, it's a hidden expectation that's usually overlooked. And Dr. Olagun said, yes, you complete a lot of myelinated stuff. No more growth in that. Yes. So you can finish a chapter while leaving your development unfinished. And that's the thing that I find interesting about people in Maslow's hierarchy of needs of 4. Level 4 is where you start getting your titles and all of that, your degrees and all of that stuff. And so people, that's a lot to unpack. So people, especially people who go to prestigious schools, world-renowned, noted schools, they say, I graduated from, because we're on the West Coast, I graduated from USC. Went to Stanford, walking around, MIT, Harvard, yeah, all of that shit. I'm like, okay. Is that all? So you completed school. I'm a senior VP on the side. Is that it? Because your kids run around the house like they ain't got no parents right now. So, and what the fuck is this shit on the floor? Why is the house in disarray? Got it. You got your little fucking Lambos and your Teslas plugged in the garage. Roger that. What's up with all the rest of this? Because that's the unfinished shit. That's the unfinished part. You finished school, and now you completed that. But here go all this unfinishedness that's not gotten to. Yeah, I'm okay. Nothing physical, but verbally attacking and yelling, that kind of thing. I'm glad I got the job too. Well, congratulations. Got it. So it was a verbal handle conflict when it occurred. Yes, ma'am. A lot is completed, but you're not finished. Exactly. And to quote the illustrious poet O.G. Mako, I ain't impressed enough. That stuff is simple to do because, again, it came with scaffolding. You go to college, you pay the money, you can get a C and get a degree. So that's not hard. Go do some neurologically hard shit. And then we can have a discussion. But that's simple. It really is. And I mean, they tell you what classes to take. You go take the damn classes. The professors are phoning the lectures in. You phoning in your fucking work. And bada boom, bada bing, you got a degree. Okay? All right. So how people arrive at unfinished growth. The brain loves efficiency. It does. And so once the strategy produces success, Oscar immediately asks, can we just keep doing this? Can we just keep doing this? Because see, look at that phase of dopamine coming. Let's just keep doing this. And success becomes permission to stop growing. If I had stayed at not me, but people stay at their corporate job because I was doing so much other shit at the job and outside the job that I don't resemble that remark. So people just keep getting promoted at the job. You're an hourly employee or you're management, and now you're the VP of, the director of, you got board seats over here. And so you're doing the same thing. And that's the reason why I had to leave corporate America. I had a bunch of reasons. But no matter what, the mission was still going to be chips on a truck. You take raw goods, you turn them into finished goods, and you sell it in a marketplace. That was the mission. It was never not going to be anything else. Every day I was looking at a number in regards to safety or money or people, processes, planning, and people and profits for one mission. Put some chips and some salty snack foods on a shelf in some type of retail environment. And it was never going to change. And so it didn't matter if I became a senior VP of supply chain optimization. The work was just bigger than me being a traffic manager. I was just going to be managing a bigger supply chain. At the end of the day, it was going to be focused on rail and over the road drivers and bulk trucks and doggone route trucks. That's it. It was never going to be anything else. Never, ever, 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 ever. So it doesn't matter that it's higher. If you mastered it at the lower level, it just means it's more direct reports, more moving pieces, but they're still doing the same movement. So that's not actually growth. And the further you get away from people is more people doing the people thing. So you're looking at reports. So what is it that you actually growing? What is it? Where is the growth at? If someone says, hey, this is what's happening in the Mid-America region, this is what's happening in SoCal, and that's it, you're just looking at reports. Ain't no growing in that. Grow what? Nothing. Once you learn how to read a report, you read a report. Unless the reporting system changes, this shit is exactly the same. And Nola and I, it doesn't matter. She has clients that's senior VPs and all of that. And the only thing that's different is the acronyms. The tone of voice on them calls is exactly the same. Yeah, but what about the RACP3? Now, when you're looking at the KHJH, but over here in SoCal, yeah, so those numbers are, what are the variables? What are the margins? Okay, let's look at that. Now, are we promoting them or not? Oh, I don't know. Let's look at his prospects. But what happened in his last OER review? And this shit is the same. This is a different acronym. So once you hit it, that's why you can switch and be a senior VP at this company and then go be a senior VP at that company. You can go be a manager at this company. You're just managing different widgets and digits and people. But the work is still reductive and it's the same. That's why I left. I didn't need to be in a different corporate job. Corporate America is corporate America. Nonprofits are nonprofits. Business is business. So unless you switch what you're doing, it's going to be completing the same thing and you still won't be growing. That's why somebody can be in a high level position, elected official somewhere else, and they could still be a drunk. They could still be a perv. They could still be stupid. They could still be a bad parent because just because you completed something at a higher level does not mean you're still growing. So the promotion becomes the finish line. The degree becomes the finish line. The sobriety milestone becomes the finish line. Retirement becomes the finish line. And comfort quietly replaces curiosity. Now, I'm going to write that down. Comfort quietly. How y'all feel about that? Comfort quietly replaces curiosity. I don't have my glasses on. A lot is completed, but you're not finished. I think I read that, but just in case I did. Because what happens on YouTube is they pop up a Q&A and then it pops back down. So your thing goes up and down. And I don't know if I read it or not. So comfort replaces curiosity. Jerry said, yup. Sarah is thinking. And I got a hair that's bothering me. Man, I'm going to take this wig off. Tiffany is thinking. Comfort quietly replaces curiosity. That's why we have Tuesday. If you don't know, ask. Some people have stopped asking questions long ago. How do y'all feel about comfort quietly replaces curiosity? So like right now it has a Q&A sticker, have any pets? Then it drops back down, and so that makes me think something pops back up. Sarah said, I think that comfort definitely replaces curiosity, and it happens before you even know it. This is me now. Wow. It's subtle. It's incremental. Oscar is slick with it. And you got there from suggestions. They weren't even strategies. They were simple suggestions. Now you ain't got to do that today. And you tired. Y'all go ahead and put that. You can do that tomorrow. You can do that next week. Next thing you know, you're stuck in a lazy boy, being a lazy boy or girl. Nola said it does happen quickly and quietly. That's why you got to ABCing. Always be challenging yourself. Always. It's like, I need to take a break. For what? Did you take a break or did you just go stop? Take a break for how long? If you got the job, they say you got a 15-minute break. You go on break, you come back. Breaks actually have timeline defines. You go on winter break. You on summer break if you go to school. So are you taking a break or are you stopping? Tiffany says, sounds like something I don't want. Is that everybody? Yes. Okay. So, where am I at? Okay, right. So because nothing appears to be wrong, the brain interprets stability as evidence that no additional development is necessary. Look, Mom, I made it. I got everything. I got the Oscar checklist. I got the job. I got good credit. I got the house. I got the car. I got the spouse. I got the kids. We got vacations and all of that. That shit ain't necessary no more. We good. We good. We stable. We definitely stable. A lot of people don't actually change until something changes. There is a layoff. There is a change in something that forced you to change. But otherwise, it would be status quo. And I have a Dr. Donna quote that says status quo is status no. So if everything is copacetic, then you ain't challenging shit. It's not until you, wait a minute, I want a promotion. Let me go back to school. Then you change. Then you get back stable again and you're good to go. Then you just get on the hedonic treadmill and just start buying shit. But if none of that actually takes place, you will not actually have a neurological change. And when you keep doing the same job at a higher level, your brain is not changing because it isn't challenging. Like I said, that's why I left corporate America. So without realizing it, yesterday's growth becomes today's limitation. Yesterday's growth becomes today's limitation. They publicly have everything, yet the person is unfulfilled. And that's what I saw with Nola's business, because prior to that, I didn't get to see backstage. I didn't get to go see presentation of self and everyday life. I saw that, but I got to see people's backstage. And their backstage was interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you can't sell me none of that shit no more. I'm in school now online and failing my current class because of this mess, even though I was just getting A's. Toxic environment ain't no joke. And I also have been procrastinating bad because you're in a toxic environment. And I can't show, I got, message me so you can get the graphic that Lacey sent with the brain fog, because that's what's happening to you. That's exactly what's happening. And what's happening is you got to go back and understand how you got in that relationship. And based upon what you're saying, you was desperate when you got in the relationship. And so you was emotional when you got in it, and that's why you emotional in it. That's what's happening. That's why Master P said, never make a decision when you're desperate. Never do it. So without realizing that yesterday's growth became today's limitation. People don't usually resist growth. They simply mistake accomplishments for completion. And I would say you do resist growth, because I tell people to grow on here all the time and they can't do it. They can't do it because it ain't no bread attached to what I'm saying. Y'all notice that? How many times I told y'all was gonna make some money over here? How many times? I tell y'all you're gonna make some money. Use this principle of real leadership to make some money. Y'all ever heard me say that? This principle, right? But see, if you use this principle, this right here, $1 million principle right here. This right here. I tell you, this principle right here is gonna get you a significant other. You use this one right here, set and maintain high standards, and the bitch is gonna be living in a mansion. You ever hear me say that shit? Nope. 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 Ain't never ever said no crazy shit like that. Because when you become an adult, everything is attached to some Oscar-fied bullshit that you can see. And you getting sold some shit that ain't useful or value added. So neuro sweat equity up in this bitch. If you want to become a bad motherfucker, it's going to cost you less than $15 a month. No. I can't brag about that. You like, shit, I'm a bad motherfucker over here. How much it cost? $9.99 a month. That ain't no flex. You a bad motherfucker at $9.99 a month? The fuck is that? What the hell is that? Duolingo is $12 a month. How the fuck? That shit is worthless. It sure is. It sure is. Go on over there with your big program shit. Yeah, that part. So all these promises for you to be able to see all this stuff that you complete. You can't complete this. You know when this is over? The day after you're no longer here. The day after you're no longer here, you ain't got to do shit else for your brain because it's not going to be value added. You're going to be gone. Brain going to be done. And if you donate your body to science, they're going to research it and see what's happening. So these accomplishments and these completion things leave you incomplete. Tiffany has gotten rid of one storage unit, is down to one storage unit, and is downsizing all of this because she has said, I want experiences. I do not want to keep having these possessions possess me. It's just too much shit. It's too much. So completion feels like a 7-bedroom house. Completion feels like I got a corner office or the new version of that. Completion feels like I got the corporate car. I'll make $100 an hour and all these other things. It feels like completion. So why does it feel so incomplete then? Why does it feel so? Why as soon as you get this thing, the thing that you wanted so bad, you already ready to purchase the next thing that you wanted so bad? Why? If that is the actual measurement, I completed this and now I'm complete. Because completion, again, is not growth. It's not growth at all. If you are a sycophant, you could become the CEO of a company. That does not mean that you have grown at all. And when you grow, you find yourself feeling complete, but still wanting to do more, to grow more, because you can grow more. Grow continually is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So what does it take in order for you to stop having unfinished growth? 2 principles of real leadership. Number 1 is finish what you start. Finishing isn't just completing the task. It's extracting every lesson, the experience that you had to teach you. And I think I was just talking to Andrea about this on TikTok. So you take it all in. The Bible says count it all joy. I'm saying count it all as a lesson. Count it all, everything. Don't mistake one little small thing as not part of the bigger thing. When I was in the Army, and I say this all the time, when I was a PFC and basic training, we had to clean up every training facility that we went to, the range, the field environment, all of that. I was like, this shit is stupid. Why the fuck do we have to do this? They're like, because if the enemy comes and they see one little MRE wrapper, they're going to start knowing where the fuck you was at. So you push the leaves back, the rocks back, all that, put that shit back and go on about your way. And what do we have to do at the end of every one of Nola's appointments now? Use that shit from 1990 when I was at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Sure do. Put everything back. Vacuum. Not a drop of doggone styrofoam. Nowhere. Ready to go. You can sleep in your bed tonight. That part. So that one little thing from basic training, I kept. Lean Six Sigma for Frito-Lay. I kept. A place for everything and everything in its place. That part. Drink water. Came from the military. Being on the range. Hot ass Alabama. Out on the range. Basic rifle marksmanship. Hot as hell. By the time they go from lane 1 all the way down to lane 80, water is already fucking hot. What you got to do? Heat cat 5. Nola's outside doing work. I'm like, we at heat cat 5. Every 15 minutes, you need to be drinking water. You need to go sit in the shade, cool yourself off. Something I would have never thought in basic training or as an executive officer that I would be using those things, but those things matter. And now that I know that the brain needs the water too, that's why we say drink water at the beginning of a morning mental workout, because it is a neurological workout. So you could think that that shit is small, but it's actually not. So many people finish the project, few finish becoming the person the project was creating. There's plenty of people that went to college. Y'all didn't met people in the Army. You never met nobody like me that was in the Army. You're like, when was you in the Army? Did you go to the same? You went to the U.S. Army? You was in America's Army. I was in America's Army. Like the United States of America's Army. U.S. motherfucking Army. Yes, that's the one that I was in. So you went to a D2 school to become Dr. Donna. You were not one of the IBs to get your doctorate. You got an EDD? You ain't got a PhD? How you got a theory then? What you doing with that? What you doing with that? Because I became the person. Jared, you can attest to this. There are plenty of distinguished Toastmasters. They can't tell you in the middle of it. What they can do is if they do a speech evaluation, redo your whole speech so you'll understand how it needs to be done. That's something different. They didn't. When I was in Toastmasters, I'm the one that went to the back of the book and said, here are all the meeting roles. Here's what you do before, during, and after the meeting. And that's what our club started doing. So it's one thing to finish it. It's another thing to become the person that grew from it. So you got to ask yourself, what did this experience teach me about myself? That's not a question that people ask. You finish college, you like, that shit was hard as hell. I hate my roommate. Fuck them motherfuckers. Fuck this university. Bitch, give me my degree. I'm out of here. But you never self-reflect on what was taking place for you, even if it's an online school, even if you went to community college and commuter schools. You never ask yourself that question. What strengths appeared? When you don't have food for 3 weeks and you're in college and you got 18 credits and you got to get up every day and go to PT and then go to those 6 fucking classes for 3 weeks, that shit is hard as hell. And then you make the dean's list that semester in particular. Like, shit, I started out hungry with 65 cents. And this is the first semester in college that I done made the damn dean's list. Look at me. The strengths come from that. 13 years. Here comes August 13, 2013. Solo dolo by myself. Shit been hard as fucking hell. Broke, bad credit, and everything else. And look at me now. From staying the motherfucking course. Look at the person that I have become without all of the fucking accoutrements. What weaknesses appeared? For me, fucking physics. Hyperpolarization and depolarization tried to take my ass out this time last year. And what now needs to be developed? The Blank Blank app, curriculum for college teachers, so they can be brain teachers, and curriculum for schools, so people can start learning about the brain in elementary school. So completion without reflection creates repeated experiences. Completion with reflection creates development. Every day I get off the live, I take things into consideration. I'm like, okay, right now I had to write, I'm about to put all these in notebooks. So I'm going to tab out my notebook so I can flip through. These are the morning mental workout ideas. Here are the everyday brain ideas. Here is brain ideas for brain's sake, neuroscience. So it can all be in this black notebook that I have over there. I'm getting ready because I'm like, this is just sitting on top of each other. And I need to be able to see it in more of an organized fashion. So completion with reflection creates development. Today is number 900, I believe, in 91 days of me going live. Yes, I am 9 days away from 1,000 days of consecutive lives. You couldn't have told me on November the 4th of 2023 that this is where I would actually be. No way. I went live, I heard go live, and I haven't not heard don't go live no more. So I have been ever evolving and ever developing and growing. You can see the older videos and the changes. My YouTube channel is about to be 13 years old. You can see those first videos. That's growth. The channel, I just hit 4,000 followers. So the channel hasn't grown 2 million, 3 million or that, but I got 13,500 videos. That's growth. Real growth that you can't purchase. Grow continually is the other principle of real leadership. Continual growth means refusing to allow today's identity to become tomorrow's ceiling. to become tomorrow's ceiling. I say from here to the galaxy, real leaders are everywhere. I don't have a fucking ceiling. Never have, never will. Growth doesn't require life to fall apart. It can, but that doesn't mean it has to. Growth should become your normal operating system regardless of what's taking place. Because everybody wants to grow when shit is going left. But when you're comfortable and you settled, that's when you decide that you don't have to grow anymore. That's when you're like, I ain't got to grow shit. Life is good. Why would I challenge myself and do some hard shit right now? Life is berries and cherries right now. Because the brain is going to give you new neurons to grow. It's not going to give you new neurons to do shit that's already been myelinated. Every master skill becomes the notification to grow forward. Mastery is where development ends. Master it and move on. If you can do something that's implicit and you ain't got to think about it, it's time for you to grow. Because you mastered that thing. If you can do it in your sleep, it's time for you to master something else. It's time for you to be a neophyte and a novice in something brand fucking new for you. Something that's hard. Something that makes Amy and Lala go, we about to, you can't do physics. No, what do you do? You don't need no, your doctorate is in leadership. The fuck is you doing in physics? No. Time tests? Remember, you already Dr. Donna. You don't have to take time tests no more. You finished with time tests. That part. Mastery is where the next level begins. That song, Get On My Level. Sierra has a song about levels. Level up, level up, level up. People think level up is meaning level up your bread, level up your promotion at work, level up your house, level up things that you already did. You already did that. You got to do it again. You don't have a life change. I just want a bigger house. Why? That's not leveling up. That's not. Leveling up would be stay in the house that you in and do some hard shit with your brain. There's no reason for you to move into a bigger home. Do not move into a bigger home. Just because you got a pay raise don't mean you need to have raise in payments. That's not how that works. So mastery is where the next level begins. Your next level, you're 2 levels up. You're 2 levels up. Most people at my age now are talking about retirement. That's down. Retirement is lower than in case that's what you about to stop doing. You about to stop working and go downsize your life and go sit somewhere. I call Florida Heaven's Waiting Room. And Las Vegas is Heaven's Waiting Room number 2. Now, people, I just came here to retire. Warm weather and all of that. Okay. And then what? You ever ran into a person that just retired? Yeah, just retired from okay, what you about to do? Oh, shoot, I worked hard for 34 years. I'm working 47 years. Now, but what you about to do? Well, I'm going to see. I'm going to see your ass about to get some lazy boy furniture because they still make it. You're going to buy a bigger TV, put that shit on the wall, wait for the grands to come over, and then you just going to go to your medical appointments and die. That's it. Master it and move on. The 100 Years Life is an amazing book. It talks about when you get to it. I'm about to get to my gap year in my 50s because when everybody was taking their gap year in the 20s, I was in the army. I was going to take my gap year in 2020, fucking COVID showed up. So at some point, I'm going to get to my gap year. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to have a strategy for that shit. I might not know this says I ain't even going to need a year. I'm probably going to take 30 days and then be like, all right, fuck it, I'm good. That's enough. But master it and move on. And not because the mastery isn't valuable, but because your brain was built to continue to develop. And that's the part that people miss. You got 86 billion neurons, 85 billion glial cells. So you can master this and move on, and you get to take the mastery with you. I've taken everything I've learned throughout my life and brought it with me. I think the most absurd thing that people are saying, which is stupid as shit, only go back 10 years on LinkedIn. Only go back 10 years. I'm not going back 10 years. Am I bringing me with me? Then all the shit I did is coming with me. Well, it's not relevant anymore. How come it ain't? Y'all gonna tell me that me being a commissioned officer in the military ain't relevant to what I do today? Captain Thomas got to restore order. You gonna tell me not being DD from the D don't matter today when I gotta check a motherfucker? We need her too. The last 10 years? Because that's just not relevant. How come it ain't? So that means if I didn't get my degree, so don't have your experience, but have your degree from 1992 on there. That's more than 10 years ago. Make up your fucking mind. That means don't put degrees on there. That means don't put your alma mater. Don't put Harvard and Yale because you graduated in 2010 and it's 2026. Put the school, but the degree is old. So the degree is old, but it still matters 16 years later. See how that's cognitive dissonance, and that shit don't make no damn sense. Whatever the fuck you did, put that shit on there because it's coming with you. It's coming with you. I know how to operate under less than optimal conditions, under limited financial resources from being broke in college. And now the company is losing money. Y'all want me? Because that happened in 1994 and 95. Don't use that? Is that what you're telling me? Don't use that. This shit makes absolutely no sense. None whatsoever. So you master it and you move on, and it allows you to continue to have a fulfilling and rewarding life well into the years when you are no longer here. People hiding gaps in work history. Exactly. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. That's what that's for. So if the degree, if I can't say nothing but the last 10 years, don't fucking put that motherfucking degree that's older than 10 years on there either. That's what they're doing. But I'm going to ask people. I had to interview people, and I'm going to ask about the gaps. What were you doing? What took place? I need to know what, that's personal and all that. Okay, cool. That personal shit going to show up too. Point blank, period. So everyday examples of unfinished growth. Becoming organized, but never learning how to prioritize. Priorities of work takes everybody out. That I watched it take Nola out because there's so much shit that has to be done. How do you know what to do? What's actually important versus what's not important? How do you get to that? First things first and last things last. Everybody has to do their part. So carry only what you need. And y'all have heard this story before. For when Nola was 3 years old, once she turned 3, I kept telling her, when you turn 4, no more buggy. That was her stroller. No more buggy. I told her for a whole year. We went to Somerset Mall after she turned 4. I purposely got rid of the stroller while she wasn't with me, donated it. And we got to the car. I had a Durango at the time. So she was ready for me to pull up the back of the Durango to get the buggy out. I got her out the booster seat and gave her her Dora backpack and said, let's go. And she wanted to know where the buggy was. I said, remember, I told you no more buggy. You got Dora backpack now. You carry your stuff. You fucking up my style now and push this fucking buggy for 4 years. I'm out here in these streets trying to find a date. I can't be out here with you. You pushing this buggy. No, it was time for her. I hate when I see kids that's too damn old still in the fucking stroller. So anyway, I told her. And she did not want to be in that buggy. I'm now going to hand you your notebooks and stuff. Here's your Dora backpack with your little map. She had to sit down on the inside of valet, reconcile what was taking place in her life, and then she started walking. Now, what I did, because in Somerset Mall in Michigan, to get from one side to the other, you could walk over the bridge, or you could go from one valet to the next. So I would get the valet and then go to the other side of the valet, but we were not doing that. I don't recall the removal of the stroller conversation, but I do remember the day when I didn't have it. Yes. Now, y'all know me. Did I tell her for a whole year that she was not going to have a buggy? Or did I just spring it on her? Or did I prepare her? Okay, remember when you turn 4, I went to turn 4, no buggy, no buggy. Okay, maybe she didn't process it correctly, but I told her it was going to happen. I told her that it was going to happen. So you're not delegating things. And you're not saying, here, this is for you. Bedtime story. Who wants to read a bedtime story? She wants one read. She needs to learn how to read. I done worked all day. You're going to read yourself a bedtime story. Then you're going to put yourself to sleep. Now she's learning how to read, and I don't have to read these same ass stories to her. That's on her. So you're taking on too much. You're not carrying only what you need. And that's causing problems for you. So you can't prioritize everything because everybody's using your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Baby Nola caught on quickly. She sure did. Baby Nola had to empty her trash at 4 years old. Take her trash out of her bedroom, put it in the kitchen trash on the night before trash. Baby Nola had to learn how to sort clothes. And as she mentioned on the live, she now is working on her colors. The turquoise or I forgot what, like blue-green color. She didn't know what to do with that. But now she's learning how to do laundry and she's learning how to sort by color at the age of 4. So when you start doing things like that and you demand that everybody uses their brain because everybody has a brain, you find that your to-do list gets real small. And then you delegate. something, and delegation is you already know how to do it, but the other person doesn't know how to do it. So you delegate the thing to them so that they're learning something and you're actually providing coaching. So it's a leadership and growth opportunity for both or all parties involved. So the reason why you can't prioritize is because you got everybody's priority. So give everybody their stuff back. Carry only what you need. I'm not pushing a buggy no more. Here's your door backpack. You carry that. I'm going to carry my purse. Let's go in this mall, get done what we need to get done, and go ahead and go about our business. So learning to apologize, but never learning to change the behavior. If you keep apologizing for the same behavior, you're going to keep doing this. So stop apologizing for it. Apologizing means recognizing that you've done something wrong. The apology is for the person, not for you. And then you stop doing it. You assess, why do I keep doing this? But if you just like, I'm sorry, but this I got to get done. This is just how I do it. I'm sorry. This is the way I am. No, it's not. That's a growth opportunity for you. So fucking grow through it instead of lying through it. Building confidence at work while avoiding difficult conversations at home. We see it all the time. People are great employees and their life is in fucking shambles at home. That's what a growth opportunity is. But you over here raising your hand for something harder at work when you need to be dealing with all the difficult shit at home. Becoming physically healthier while, and this is for you, Jared, remaining mentally rigid. And Daisy, y'all focus on your A1C, focus on your Insula and your ACC. Okay? The A1C and the ACC, registering that friction. So you do something about it. Reading dozens of books, but implementing very little. That's that knowledge environment versus that implementation, that living environment. Becoming an expert in one area while believing you no longer need to learn. That's the problem that I have with the academics. They know their shit, and that's it. And they believe that because they know their shit, that they don't have to learn anything else. They don't have to become anything else. They can be a terrible mentor. They can be a terrible educator and everything else because they learned their shit. And solving yesterday's problems using strategies that no longer fit today's life. When you master something and move on, you still have to update it. And Jared, you did not send me the things for Toastmasters or tell me whether you found the speech evaluator information. So you need to set a reminder for yourself or do something with that because I didn't get that information. So I'm saying based upon when I was a DTM, based upon when I was in Toastmasters, the education system was changing as I was leaving, but it wouldn't take me any time to say, okay, boom, 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 boom. This is the updated version. This is how you do that. Why? Because when I became a DTM, I said, what's the best way to get this done? What's the best way to charter a club? What's the best way to be? I was the VP of education of a club and the president of another club. So what is the best way to lead a Toastmasters club? And was about to do some district leadership stuff, but say that story for another day. So that part. So you don't need to learn nothing else. Why not? Why not? If you don't learn anything else, as I mentioned this before, and Andrea says some of that code that I used to know is still being used, but there's all this new code happening. So I learned basic Fortran, COBOL, and Pascal way back in the late 80s and early 90s. But there are new languages out. So if I don't learn anything else, now I'm stuck with some of those dead languages. When I was in the 5th grade, Miss Price was teaching us Latin. We don't really use Latin no more. So it wouldn't matter if I was fluent in it. Who the fuck am I talking to? So you can take that old ass reductive shit if you want to and not update it, and it's going to be a problem. Real Leadership was started in 2008, published in 2009. We're still using those principles, but we've added neuroscience to it. We've added social media components to it. And in a minute, we're going to add some merch to it. So that concept, the foundation of it is still there, but we 2026 and 2027 in it, and now it will lead to a blank app, curriculum in college, and curriculum in schools. So you can have that thing that you mastered, move on, and still bring the skill set that was developed when it was developed. So none of these appear to be unfinished growth, yet each represents development that quietly stopped. So the greatest threat to your future isn't failure. It's believing your last success earned you permission to stop developing. That's the problem with people 45 and above with some titles and some credit and some house and some money and shit, is that you believe you no longer have to develop. The biggest problem that I have with collegiate sports and sports in general, but I'm going to talk about American football, is that as I had a front row seat to this bullshit, I realized that coaches coach the same way and that they don't change. And so when Nola and I were working with my cousin and his physicality, and he needed to strengthen his core because he actually had a strength and condition coach who was shit, I went back to my training because it was a parallel life. You go to ROTC camp, that's the equivalent to combine, you get a score, then you get picked up by Branch. Branch looks at you, that's the same as going to combine, the teams look at you, and then you get picked. And you really ain't got no fucking choice unless you the number one draft pick, and then it goes from there. So I got a 5 at camp, that's equivalent to getting an 8 or 9, whatever the fuck the score is at combine. But what got him strong to the point where it would take 4 to 5 people to tackle him to get him down, even though he was lean, was calisthenics. And it was old school, basic training, push-ups, sit-ups, gorilla grass drills, not suicides, but pyramids and all of that strengthened his legs and his core where you just could not get him down. So if you look at Rangers and Special Forces and all of them, they kind of lean and tight and light. It ain't a lot of them that's bulk because you got to be able to carry that ruck and get in and get out and move around and shit. That's what actually changed his physicality. So you got all this cryotherapy and you got all this dumb shit, cold plunges and all of that. But old school calisthenics still work. Your natural resistance to your body, because that's what you're using all day long. Not all is, if you think about Rocky IV, where Drago was training and doing his shit and all of, they had all that stuff measuring and Rocky outside picking people up. That old school brawn still works. But coaches don't want to take old math. If you watch Hidden Figures, they took old math to get that slow go, no go back in the entry point. So when you master something, you can bring it to 2024, 2025, because it worked back then. But people are just using what was meh, and that's why the shit is meh, but it was never what is the best way to get this done. And that's the problem with most things that we have right now, is that it isn't the best way to get it done because the people that are responsible for it didn't master it and move on. They completed shit. They completed being a professional athlete. There are plenty of professional athletes that are now coaches. And because they were on winning teams, they get jobs at winning schools, but they wasn't winners. So now when it's time to actually be a position coach, they can't do their fucking job because they could do the job, all right, as a person in that position. But now you got to coach somebody in that position and you can't do that. So it's meh. It's because it wasn't mastered. And when you look at it from that perspective, when you master everything you do, when you don't do anything without a why and you don't do anything without a strategy and be the best, what's the best way to get this done? When it's time to tell somebody else how to get it done, because you mastered it. I mastered elevator pitches. I mastered being a Toastmaster. I mastered being a parent of small children up until 23. Nola about to be 24 this year. So I mastered it. So because I mastered it, Tiffany, this is what you do. Dr. Oligodendrocytes, this is what you do. Aletha, this is what you do. Desmond, this is what you do, because I already mastered it. So it didn't stop me from not knowing how to do it because y'all got to it after me, but I mastered it. So it's because of the growth. It's because of me sitting in those very discomforting situations and saying, what's the best way to get this done? Okay, let me try this. Let me attempt this. Let me do this. Let me do that. And now, because I've done that my entire life, you get to be on the receiving end of that. So you don't have to waste 5 years scratching your head trying to figure this shit out. It's the best way to get out of debt. It's the best way to get your credit score to 760 and stay right there. It's the best way to save money. Gave Jared another business idea that he wasn't thinking about. He was talking about a leak in the basement. Here you go. Boom. So those things. So when you think about unfinished growth, you completed a bunch of shit. Y'all got to this live. And that's why on TikTok, when people be talking, and I got mine out, that ain't shit. Did you master it? Did you master it though? When you think about what you completed versus what you mastered, when you master something, you have to grow in order to master it. You're not getting the mastery without growing. It's impossible neurologically to get it done. So your unfinished growth is a direct correlation to what you didn't master. You just completed it. C's get degrees. There are plenty of people with degrees with a 2.98 GPA. 2.67, a 2.38 with a degree, even from a prestigious school. So now what? So you lead with the completion. Yeah, it's salsa. That's why people, my two mentors that told me don't leave my corporate job and I left, and they left their corporate job and went back because they couldn't walk in the room without saying senior VP of the Sun to Sun, because they was both VPs. I am the senior VP of Human Resource Management. That's completion. They were supposed to have been building a doggone legacy for their children, but then they went and built somebody else's legacy again after they had already left, because they couldn't take not walking in the room, not telling family and friends, well, I just territory, I'm managing 13 regions. That's completion. That's not mastery. Both still overweight. Can't master physicality. Still need to lose 30 pounds. That part. So all of your unfinished growth is a direct result of you not having a why and a strategy and saying, what's the best way to get this done? What's the best way to get this done? So what did you do? You lowered the ceiling. And you built a nice little comfort cocoon, and you want to say, yeah, I've been at my job 30 years. So we're going to retire, and then, you're building up the nest egg. Yeah, we did all that. Kids doing good. Yeah, we got pets and everything. That shit is unfinished growth. That's unfinished growth. You think about all the opportunities you had to learn and grow, and you said no. It's unfinished growth. There were times I told Nola back in 8th grade she needed to become an effective communicator, and she didn't. And then her business showed up, and now she got to communicate. She got calendars. She got text messages. She got to call people and tell them how to go in the app. She got notifications from GoDaddy, from Yelp with appointments, and she is communicating like nobody's business. She got to update the clients. She got to tell them about manufacturing defects. She got to communicate with the damn IRS and everything. Everything. Ain't nothing but communication that showed up. And I told her, I was like, right now, all you got to do is master communication. And I go back to 8th grade. I'm like, remember when all you had to do was learn how to communicate effectively? And you said no. Whoop, there it is. Now I hate talking on the phone. And so go download the app, and sometimes people answer. So then she loves it if a voicemail shows up, because then she can just leave a message on the voicemail. But if they answer, now she got to talk. Yeah, okay. So they answer the questions, go down to the app. And they're like, hold on, wait a minute. Where do I go in the app? Yep. You got to do that. I said in 2015, I was done dealing with people. And now I ain't doing shit but dealing with people and their underdeveloped brains. Talk about a motherfucking growth opportunity. That part. So as you sit here right now, what's going through your mind? Levels 1 through 5 before we do our SGACC. What's the dominant prevailing thought that's taking place for you right now as you've heard what unfinished growth is? And go ahead and drink your water. Lacey's thinking. Tiffany's thinking. You're at the building now, I'm assuming, Lacey. Thank you, Derek. I'm not quite. Oh, it's to drink water. That's adorable. That's adorable. Jared is thinking. And Nola likes turtles and tortoises. Zara said, I need to get with the brain dumps. Brain dumps are your friend. You just call out your brain's name and it'll be there. You've got a brain. Derek is thinking. Daisy is thinking. Lucy said, excited to grow, and yes, at the building now. Andrea said, I need to learn automation ASAP. Yes, ma'am. What you waiting on? Jared said, more implementation is on the way. I was having a conversation with Nola yesterday as I was preparing for these lives, and I thought about you all and your growth and development. And then I said to myself, I asked Nola some question, and she looked at me crazy like, anyway. But I said, no one, and I've said this before, but it really hit me yesterday, no one is demanding excellence from those people that choose to follow them. Follow them. No one's demanding it. No one's setting the expectation that you're going to be excellent. Unless it's sports. That's it. Unless it's a bag or a trophy attached. There's no bag or no trophy over here. But just excellence. That is not the standard. Implementation of what I am teaching on a daily basis. That's not even occurring. It's not something that's actually taking place at all. It's not inspect what you expect. It's not set and maintain high standards. It's phone this shit in. That's what it is. You're not sitting around family and friends talking about how to be a mastery person in different things. We used to have those conversations in college. Now we don't. You can see the colleague that I no longer talk to, him and the guy friends are all still friends from college. They're all overweight, they're all married, and they all have spouses, and they all have stories. And they all have lies that they tell themselves on a daily basis that they're doing good. No, you're not. Everything is connected. Everything I didn't finish needs to happen. That's correct. Daisy says, where can I go to get that time back? So implementation is now current. Exactly, you can't. All you got is now and forward. That's it. So when these growth opportunities come knocking at your door, and you see them on your ring alarm, don't act like they're the Jehovah's Witnesses and you ain't about to answer the door. Because that's the other thing. You can't get to your next level because of what you avoided at your previous levels. But you can't hide over here. I'm going to find that fucking growth opportunity and I'm going to keep presenting to your ass. And you're either going to knock it down, break it down, grab the growth opportunity and say, come on, motherfucker, let's go. Get this shit done. Or you're not. And the reason why no one else is telling you to do this is because they didn't do it. Because they're just completing shit too. People talk about what they completed and they'll talk about the struggle to that completion, but they will not talk about these major growth opportunities that they've avoided. Derek said, I'm looking forward to the benefits of brain dumping. I think that's what I need the most right now. Yes, sir. Under the circumstances in which you find yourself this season in your life, that is correct. That is what will allow you to keep a cool, level head. If you message me, I can send you all of the graphics. If I haven't done so, then you'll definitely benefit from seeing it. Sarah said, welcome, I get it. It's the brain dump video here on YouTube. Yes, if you message me, I will send it to you. I thought I sent it to you already. If I have not, check Instagram and I will send it to you. Don't try to find it. That you're going to hurt your brain. You will hurt your brain trying to find it. Sarah, there we go. So that part. So you can become a bad motherfucker. I need some peers. Love to have some peers. But you going to get it done the right motherfucking way. That's what you're going to do. What we're not going to do. Greetings, Dr. Donna and bad motherfuckers in the making. Good morning, Shri. So yeah, I'm not about to let you phone it in. We don't fudge no numbers over here. You sent it. I'm rewatching it. Thank you. Okay, great. So that part. And if you want me to send you the brain dump versus journaling for any of you former journalers, I actually did a whole live on the difference between journaling and brain dumping so that you could actually understand why you need to do brain dumps instead of journaling. Now, you can actually use a journal. I just bought a journal from Target. So you can use it, but it's why you're using it. You know, people got notebooks for all kind of shit. So it's not that you don't need a journal per se. It's you don't need to be journaling because that's not going to actually help a motherfucking thing at all. So there isn't anybody else in the world saying, come over here and be a bad motherfucker in everything that you do. Not in the little bitty things, but in everything that you do, best is always there available for you. And the reason why that is because it's not happening for them. So then they present these things that you can complete. 30-day challenge. Here's this program. That's why I say this is a system, because a system is different than a program. So a system says you execute it in this way and there is a result at the end. Just because you go to a program does not mean that you will actually have the results. That's why that whole individual results may vary, even though they're telling you this is the system you use to get this result. How can you say this is a system that will get this result and then turn around and say individual results may vary. I thought you said this system get this result. I thought you said this system is going to make it so I lose 30 pounds. If that's the program, then I should be losing 30 pounds. Well, individual results may vary. Okay. Then that means that the program doesn't work. So over here, everything is excellence. Everything is bad, motherfucker. And there is a set and maintain high standard. And as you go through each level or grow through each level, the expectation gets higher and higher and higher. And that's because otherwise you'll complete it and you'll think you're finished, but you will miss out on the growth opportunities. For those of you who are here and who have recently showed up, you are here to remove the obstacles that stopped you from challenging yourself, taking risks, growing continually so you can finish what you started. So if you think you're here for any other reason, if you think you're here because you're going to get a bag, you're going to get a badge, you're going to get an award, you are at the wrong spot. You are here because you asked for divine intervention. Your divine intervention intervened. I showed up, and now I am the enforcer, if you will. Now, I'm a gangster Christian, okay? I'm not the nice ones that's going to pray for you. I'm going to set and maintain a motherfucking high standard and say, accomplish this shit or leave. That's what's going to happen over here. I do have empathy. I do when you're doing the work. I got 0 fucks to give when you're not doing the work, because everybody was born to do something extraordinary. And now these Oscar-fied existences have made it okay for you to sit and be ordinary. And that doesn't bode well for me. So Andrea talked about wasting time on TikTok Live. That's a waste of my time. And the reason why is because quitters never win. That's the principle of real leadership. Failure is not an option. So you phoned it the fuck in enough in your life overall. Stop that shit. Stop. All I know is 2 days in a row, my inhibitory control is palpable. Something is definitely shifting. What day you on, Shri? What day are you on? Tell me what day you're on. Palpable. So that part. And the final thing that I will say before we go, oh, that's why. 24 level 2, right? So here's what's happening. You got to be on level 2. So 8 days in, you set up the neural pathway. When you got the day 14 on level 2, you myelinated it. So now your basal ganglia has made it implicit. And because you're getting ready to, because right now, 24 and 7, yes. So 24 and 7, that puts you at 31. My fucking brain right now. Yeah, you're at 31. So when you get to 42 days, so right now you are 9 days away from your 42nd day. And so what's happening is you are making this implicit. So it's been myelinated, and now during neural reps, it's going to be implicit, and that's why your inhibitory control is now strengthening. So see how that works? So that's what's actually taking place for you. And so you can't describe it because you felt like you just woke up and now you're stopping yourself. So when you're actually doing the work, and as people, you will say, well, how can people, so people can write a neural rep that makes it appear that things are changing for them. And so they can tell themselves, I'm doing this, doing this, doing this. But what I'm looking for is trends. And if your neural rep keeps saying the same thing over and over and over again, I know you're avoiding something. And that's why you keep having these safe little neural reps that you're presenting. And so I can see it clearly now, especially since I just put my foot down on Saturday. I can see who's actually doing the actual work based upon what's actually saying, based upon feedback that's being given behind the scenes. I can now see how you can do it while avoiding the elephant in the room. And so my objective is to identify the elephant in the room sooner. Desmond asked me yesterday, was everybody going forward going to have to watch that video? And I said, yes, but it's a matter of when. And I believe that right now I'm saying watch it before you start level 2. So before you start spending your $3, $5.99, you watch that video so you know exactly what you're getting into. And the reason why that's necessary is just like when I was hiring people at Frito-Lay, I told them this job sucks, it's horrible, it's awful, let's go tour to DC. This is what's going to happen. And then people will drop off. I did it with business strategy series. So people will understand from the giddy up what is actually expected of them over here. Shri said, I'm seeing definition in my brain like when you work on the six pack. Exactly. And now you understand that your brain is a muscle and that it is plastic based upon neuroplasticity. So you have the ability to create new neural pathways. Those things become myelinated, and now you can actually demonstrate higher cognition. That's what's actually happening. So the brain fog is leaving. You're bringing the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex online, and the executive function of the brain, the working memory, cognitive flexibility, inhibitory control are strengthening. And that's why you're able to start actually braining the brain while life is life and people are peopling. Okay, let's go ahead and get our 60 seconds of silence in. I'm going to count you in. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're at Ask Dr. Donna. What questions do you have for me? Eric has a question. Sarah has a question. Nola has a question. Derek says, what are your thoughts on the subconscious mind? I don't have thoughts on the subconscious mind, Derek. And here's why. I'm focused on the conscious mind, the brain that you use all day long. People have made that a thing. It exists, and subconscious mind causes people to not be able to process what's taking place. I don't know if you were on TikTok live yesterday or even yesterday when I showed how I used to teach. So people like making the brain abstract. They like making it difficult to use because they don't understand it. I'm the first person that's able to take this high cognitive information and bring it down to where people are. So what's important to me is you understanding how your brain functions so that you can function and be highly capable in your day-to-day life. So they've taken all of these concepts and thrown them out there to explain vague situations, and we need to bring it down to a level that people understand. So think of it this way. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. That's where we are. And people want to talk about the Pythagorean theorem. They want to talk about P versus NP and pi and these other things, when people need to know that 1 plus 1 is 2 and 2 plus 2 is 4. So again, all of that is knowledge information, but you can't implement it in your day-to-day life. So what you need to know is when you have brain fog for what you're handling with your family right now, you need to know that your insula has sent you a message and your body has tension in it and there's friction in the ACC as something needs to take place. So Ms. Darlene needs to be cool as the other side of the pillow. So you need to have a neutral SGACC so you can process what it is that you need to do. So all of that happens in the conscious mind. All of that happens in real time The brain is braining while life is lifing and people are peopling. So that's where my work is. How to use this in real time, in real life. Let me know if I've answered your question. So Nola says, so is unfinished growth, you have stopped continuous growth because you got comfortable. That's what it is. Yes, that's what it is, Nola. So it would be the equivalent to you saying, if you had to remain the tasker, never got your website, never got your Yelp page or any of that, and then you just keep bragging about how fast you can put a fucking mom bed together, but you can't communicate effectively, your driving is terrible, your personal hygiene is still bad, you still can't cook, you still losing money in the parking lot when people give you tips, you don't file your own taxes or any of that stuff, you don't have a credit score because everybody pays you in cash. So, and you just report what you report. So that's all them growth opportunities, but you real comfortable with talking about how fast you can put the IKEA mom bed together. People pay you $100 every time you put IKEA mom bed together, and you can do it in 35 minutes. That's unfinished growth. Tiffany is thinking. Shree is thinking, and so is Jared. And Jared said, does feeling so-called negative emotions allow my brain to operate at a higher level? At no point can your brain operate at a higher level with negative anything happening. Discomfort is different. So just like Sarah is saying that she's in an environment that's causing problems in school and everything else, even though she got the job, you cannot fully access your brain with any type of negative going on. So, because negative means threat. So there's going to be some type of cortisol that's leaking that's not going to give you optimal performance from the executive function of your brain. So no, your brain doesn't operate at a higher level. Your brain operates at a higher level when you're challenging yourself. So you going back to school is challenging yourself to grow. You sitting mad at the sports on television because they didn't play like you wanted them to play, that's negativity bias. That's literally harming your brain because why didn't they just, why didn't they? And there's nothing that you could do about it. You going home every day arguing with your children and your wife is creating a negative environment. There's no way that your brain can operate at a higher level because it's at fight, flight, freeze, or appease. So it's in a heightened state of stress. So it's never going to happen. Let me know if I've answered your question. Shri said, at what level do you recommend applying newfound disciplines to projects outside of my day-to-day? What level would that be? At back half of 3, beginning of 4. Because what you're getting ready to do now when you go to 3 is you're going to start researching the brain. And in order for you to be better at those projects, you're equipped with more neurological information about the brain. Because if you start a new project and a somatic marker is there, or all of the things that you skipped, you're still going to not finish that project. But when you understand what's happening, what happens to the brain, what other regions exist, and you have more cognition, you have more discipline because you are practicing inhibitory control, you'll be doing more brain dumps naturally, then it will allow you to be able to start those projects and finish those projects. So the back half of 3 is 90 days. So when you get into day 50, somewhere around there, you will have enough neurological cognition, understanding that you can then potentially start a new project. Nola said, got it. Tiffany said, how can I explain this to a retired person? You can't. It's not your responsibility. If you're talking about your parents, you can encourage them to start attending lives, but you are not going to be able to explain it to a retired person. I know from experience that my mother's husband retired in 2007, and she retired in 2009, 8 or 9. And so they moved here in 2009, and they have been retired, and they are tired. And all they do is overindulge, and that's it. We ain't about to do nothing but that. I tried to do it with them before I even had this information, and to no avail. If he only gonna read a book if it's about Motown, and she ain't gonna read a book, and she watches TMZ, Judge Judy, whatever that shit is, all the crime shows, everything. So she is sedentary and sitting her ass in front of a television and then going to look cute so they can go to barbecues and shit and play bid whist and overeat, and that's it. And potentially go to church on Sunday. So a retired person will have to be Regina, because Regina is watching it with her friend group. And so they have myelinated, I'm done. And it would take an actual catastrophic event to get their attention. But the Oscar is Oscaring. The most you can do is lead by example and have them start listening to lives. But if they don't like profanity, then all they're going to hear me saying is fuck, shit, motherfucker, bitch, shut up, bitch, you dumb, stupid asshole, and all of that. And so that's not going to bode well. But Regina, Lola, and Daisy, and then Bridget is a boomer X. They would actually have to hear it coming from a boomer X. They would have to hear it from another boomer. And even with Regina, her peers, she's like, I got to stop. I got to do my homework. You over there doing homework? So now they laughing at her because they think they got it going on. Shri said, can I still continue with Neuro Reps while I'm exiting my current living arrangement? Yes. Neuro Reps is how you strengthen your whole brain. Neuro Reps are going to allow you to make, your Uncle Vinny is going to give you a why, and Miss Darlene is going to give you a strategy for it. So I recommend Neuro Reps for everybody until just keep doing them, because that's where the brain workout is. Like you said, your brain is getting stronger. You got a six-pack for a brain, and it's because Miss Darlene is online doing her job, and you're strengthening her more and more. And the objective is Oscar is as strong as Oscar is. Miss Darlene has to be stronger than Oscar to stay online. So Oscar is going to weigh with, if Oscar weighs 300 pounds, he going to weigh 300 pounds. It's Miss Darlene's objective to bench 1,500. So when Oscar is trying to flex or whatever, she like, that ain't shit. That was my question. I said, oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. Who did I say? Shri? I apologize. Yes, you can. Yes, I apologize. Yes. Sarah, you can. Can I continue my Neuro Reps while I'm exiting my current living arrangement? Yes, highly recommend it. That's going to help you make better decisions. All right. Yes, absolutely. That's why you showed up, so you can start thinking better. When you know better and you think better, you're going to have a better outcome. All right. So everybody, my attention is a resource, and everybody has a brain. My attention is a resource, and everybody has a brain. Excuse me. And Tiffany had a question about people not attending lives and then falling off because of that. I can't make lives mandatory because people's schedule. What I can say is the replay is there available. And what happens is people's lives start improving over here. And so then they start thinking, I'm good. I don't have to do more than this. Oscar starts telling them that the only thing is necessary is the Neuro Reps and all of that. And I am paying attention to all of that. So if you're watching on the replay, I'm paying attention to everything now. So again, just because you complete the current level you're on does not mean that you get to grow to the next level. That's not a guarantee. Oh, I'm going to just do my Neuro Reps. Okay. Got it. Then you will just finish at level 3, and you will just get a message from me that says don't renew your current level. And it won't have because you're getting ready to go to your next level. It will just have don't renew your current level. And then that's it. You can finish it out. It usually happens between day 28, 29 on level 2, day 88, 89 at level 3. And now that we have that taking place at level 4, about day 1 is about 178. Okay, next is what did you do to strengthen Miss Darlene? And what did you do to have fun yesterday? For fun yesterday and strengthen Miss Darlene. Because what I'm sensing and feeling is that everybody else's programs, every other human relationship allows you at some point to cut you some slack. to let you off the hook, to give you a break. But everybody has a brain. That's what I have to keep reminding myself. Everybody has a brain. And my intention is a resource. So what did you do to strengthen Ms. Darlene? And what did you do for fun? Lacey said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by finishing the book this week. Congratulations. Tiffany said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by reading for 15 plus minutes. And Lacey said, I took a walk to have fun. That's the one thing that we are not necessarily able to do once we get to the July, August timeframe. Because even when the sun goes down, it's still 100 degrees. So the sun could be down, you still be outside, it's 100 degrees. That's the only part that I'm like, dang, I wish we could go for a walk, but it's hot as hell outside. Nola said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by taking my free time last night to sweep downstairs. Yes, and I was grateful to you for that. Shree said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by watching 2 delectable desserts pass me at a restaurant. I popped and I swim in the pool. Got it. And you put that in your Neuro Rep too. Andrea said, to strengthen Ms. Darlene, I collaboratively talked with my husband out of ordering Panda Express. Beautiful. You strive for a win-win and you collaborate. Jared said, I strengthened Ms. Darlene by folding my clothes and putting them away. Awesome. Tiffany said, for fun, I went to the gym with my sister, 30 minutes on the treadmill. I miss being able to be on the treadmill. Shree said, I swam in the pool. Andrea said, to have fun, I played a video game with my husband. Nola said, for fun, I watched All Blacks versus Ireland highlight tape. Daisy said, I strengthened Miss Darlene by reading. Derek said, I strengthened Miss Darlene by organizing my things. Sarah said, to strengthen Miss Darlene, I allowed her to choose no when Oscar observed liquor on the counter. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Shree said, the rubber band. You popped your rubber band. I got it for your thing. You used the rubber band method not to eat them sweets. Okay. Next is, how many brain dumps did you do and what did you do to respect your brain? How many brain dumps did you do and what did you do to respect your brain? Dr. Oligodendrocytes strengthened Ms. Darlene by starting a new morning routine. Shree said 1. Lacey said I did 2 brain dumps. Sarah said 0 brain dumps. I didn't feed it sugar. Yep, because that's what happens too with alcoholics. You switch over from alcohol to sugar. So then you start drinking a bunch of sugary drinks because alcohol breaks down into sugar anyway. So the brain's like, well, fuck it, just give me some sugar then. Nola said I had 2 brain dumps. Daisy said I had 1 brain dump. Daisy, you should have had more brain dumps than that. Dr. Olagoon said for fun, I did some gardening. Andrea said 1 brain dump. And let me explain this to you. The last thing Oscar wants you to do is a brain dump. Because every time you do a brain dump, Oscar gets weaker, Miss Darlene gets stronger. So Oscar gonna say, man, it ain't that bad. Why you doing that? That ain't necessary. This ain't even that serious. You about to, why? Why you about to do that? So if you find yourself saying it's not necessary, it's not, as soon as you don't have neural clarity, as soon as you're confused, as soon as there's any semblance of brain fog, I don't know what to do, I'm confused, it's brain dump time. It's brain dump time. If you are not cool as the other side of the pillow, if you are not fully conscious of what's taking place and there's any of this whatsoever, it's time to do a brain dump. Because you've trained your brain to have a certain level of compromise, a certain level of friction, a certain level of endurance. And you're like, no, shit got to really be falling apart for me to dump my brain. No, If it's not neural clarity, it's time to do a brain dump. Lacey said, I respected my brain by canceling an appointment so I wouldn't be overwhelmed this week. Got it. Derek said, for fun, I hung out with my friends and my family. Okay. Derek. Jared said, I did 4 dumps. Andrea said, I respected my brain by taking a nap when it was too hot to do anything useful instead of scrolling. Yep, a nap is better. Sarah said, I put respect on my brain by accepting I cannot grow my brain if I keep poison in my body on a regular basis. That is correct. Alcohol is an inhibitor. Derek said, I did not brain dump yesterday. Derek, you cannot go another day without brain dumping based upon what's taking place in your life currently. As a man, you are having difficulty doing it, but you got to do it because you have to maintain a cool, level head at this time for your family. So at no point can you afford to not have your full cognition be present in everything that you are doing. All right. And if you've answered what you've done for brain dumps and what you've done to put respect on your brain, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? Final 2 questions for the day. Derek said, I did put respect on my brain by quitting vaping. Ooh, wow. Okay. Now, I know I tell people that, you get, okay, stop vaping. I'm glad you did. Because y'all sucking on a battery. I don't know what the long-term impact's going to be, but I know if cigarettes make it so people have to go, you sucking on a battery, a lithium battery. So I think that's the worst, and we won't know probably for 10 years from now the long-term impact on that habit, but good. That's great. And Nola has had clients that explain it to me and why it's better than cigarettes and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, we're going to wait and see about that one. I learned today from TikTok that expectations are down payments on disappointments, on resentment. Yes, Lacey, on resentment. Because you're expecting somebody to do some shit and they don't, and now you become resentful for it, especially when dealing with addicts. That's where it came from. I expected my sister to stay clean and sober, and after 13 years, she relapsed and left. And I told her, don't leave. She was at the 10-year mark. I thought, okay, cool. 10 years is a good enough time. Yes, I will work with you. Don't leave and don't relapse. And she did both. So that part. So what did you learn today, and what did you learn about yourself? And again, there's all these things to provide you with relief from your compromises. Drinking, eating, corn hubbing, strip clubbing, and everything else when it doesn't solve the actual issue. Lacey, you know this, being 305 pounds. It's not going to fix what is actually wrong. It's not going to make it so your brain can actually be high functioning. It's just going to be making sure that you just wake up and do something and go back to sleep. Shree said, I learned how to answer questions with more clarity. Lacey said, I learned about myself that my life will not rise above the level of my expectations of myself. So it's time to level up everywhere. Sarah said, I learned today that I can do Neuro Reps now and always. I learned about myself that I am waiting to get direction to do the brain dump video, but really I could at least try it and ask if I did it right. Yeah, you'll have the video. You will. And then you'll continue to do it. And yeah, my recommendation is that you do watch the brain dump versus journaling video, because everybody says journal, and people are like, yeah, I'm not journaling, I'm not writing that shit down, especially if you're from the hood, and you're like, no, people use that shit against me. What if somebody find it? So a brain dump is, this is what the fuck is happening now, and this is what I need to do to continue to be high functioning. So as you continue, your answers roll in. You do actually have the right to have a high functioning brain with a neural clear brain and a life that's actually peaceful. You don't have to live in chaos. You actually don't. Shri said more capable in all that matters. I learned that I'm okay and more capable in all matters. Yes, ma'am. Andrea said today I learned that a study I had heard before that process that people who swear are more honest was based on self-reported data and later debunked. Are more honest and was biased. You learned that today? And later debunked. How you learn that? You're saying before you got on the line. When did you learn that? Jerry said, I learned today that the only way to grow is through implementation, not thinking about improving. Yeah, okay. Yes, sir. No, she is right below me. Shri. Who is right below you? Okay, Shri, I said, you said, I learned that I'm okay, more than capable in all matters. And then I said, Andrea, today I learned that the study where she talked about the cursing. So what did I miss? Zara is right below me. Sarah is. I can't see hers. I can't. What I see for Sarah is I learned today that I can do Neuro Reps. That's what I see. I don't see anything else for Sarah's comment. If it's not there, Sarah, I can't see it. Sometimes YouTube stops yours. So Sarah's is under Lacey on my end. And that's it. Okay, got it. I saw it. I read it. Daisy said, I learned that I need to keep implementing as I go through life. See, Daisy, that's a very vague statement. That's what I'm saying. Your statements are for you to be where you are on level 4. They're subsurface. And again, I have no idea what else that I can tell you to do. But this is not it. So delete what you just typed, Daisy, and actually type a feeling-based statement. Because this is subsurface. Noah said, I learned that you should always be growing. Comfort isn't an option. Andrea said, right before the live, I missed most of the live and we'll catch it later. So when I'm saying, what did you learn today? I'm asking you what you learned on the live today. That's what that question is for. What did you learn today and what did you learn about yourself in regards to what I'm talking about? Shri said, I did not write. Okay, she did. Okay, got it. Now I understand what you're saying. Got it. The S's are throwing me off. I apologize. So Zara is saying, okay. Shri is saying, I learned that I am more than capable in all matters. Now that sentence, that okay did change it. Got it. I apologize because the S's are throwing me off. And then Andrea said, I went looking for something to learn yesterday. Okay, so the question today is, what did you learn today from the time that you were on this live? So when I'm asking, what did you learn today? That question is for, what did you learn on the live? And if you got here late and you didn't see anything that you learned, then you can say, I only been here 12 minutes and I didn't learn anything. So I'm asking you, what did you learn about my shit? That's what I'm saying. Not what did you earn. Yeah, I don't. What did you learn today on this live? So as everybody put their questions in, their answers in for what did you learn today? I'll get it with Shri and Sarah, because I mix up Lola and Nola because their names are different. We used to have a Regina and a Sabrina, and that was taking me out. So at one quick brief point, there was a Keith and a Kevin on there. So my brain again from the orthographic processing. Nope, Daisy, that's not the answer. Delete that. That's the answer you've been saying. No, ma'am. Delete that. No, ma'am. Nope. I learned that I have work to do on myself. What does that mean? That's generic as hell. Shri said, I learned that I must increase my brain dumps for maximum benefits. Yes. So I'm saying that if you are confused at any point, you need to do a brain dump. If you are not thinking clearly, if you have a problem to solve and you can't solve the problem in that moment, you need to do a brain dump. The whole goal is to have optimum performance. So if your brain, your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex was a phone battery, it needs to be at 100%. It's not like as the day goes on, it's okay for it to be operating at 80%. It's okay for it to be at 13%. You're like, hey, you got a dorsolateral prefrontal cortex power charger? No, 100%. And anything that stops it from being at 100%, it's time for a brain dump. That's what it's time for a nap. It's time for, I'm not at 100% dorsolateral prefrontal cortex online. I need to do something. I need to eat. I need to take a nap. I need to do a brain dump. I need to delegate because it needs to be at optimum performance all day long. Jared said, I learned about myself that my former lower expectations equals underachievement. Shri said, I'm adding one at nighttime. Okay, I'm gonna say this one more time. Lola said, I learned today that I should never stop growing. Listen, everybody. Listen, please listen. Brain dumps are not something that you schedule. Because you're saying, Shri, this isn't something that you do at a specific time of day. Your brain needs to be at 100%. So you can be at 100%. So when you are not in full cognitive thought, when you find yourself compromising, when you find yourself putting up with people's shit, when you find yourself, just type the answer over, Daisy, type a better answer. When you find yourself not being able to think clearly, it's time to do a brain dump. So if you're driving, as soon as you get in the parking lot. If you're on a train, digital. You don't have your brain dump notebook with you. So this isn't, well, when she asks me tomorrow, I'm going to say I did no brain dumps. I'm going to do 0 brain dumps. The brain dump means that you are carrying shit that you don't need. It means that you are enduring something that isn't something that's going to allow you to be at your best cognitively. So this isn't, I'm asking you how many you did because you're assessing throughout my day. Tiffany has said she has done as many as 13 brain dumps in one day. So if you're having a bad day, then there should be brain dumps to reflect, I'm having a character building day. That's what's happening. So this isn't, okay, let me do my brain dump. So tomorrow, if I'm on the live, she asked me, did I do my brain dump? I can say, yeah. I'm going to schedule my brain dump. So if you were at home by yourself with your pets and the only thing that occurred for you is that you got a stupid text from somebody and you need to do a brain dump, then it's 1. If you said I had an uneventful day yesterday, I'm good, then it's 0. The reason why I said that to Derek is because Derek got way too much going on to have not done a brain dump yesterday because I'm paying attention to your Neuro Reps too. If Shay was on his live and she said she did no brain dumps yesterday, then I'm going to say you was avoiding every fucking thing that was happening to you yesterday because you should have had about 7 brain dumps yesterday. So that's what's taking place, is if you don't, your brain has been wired for some level of, okay, endurance. I'm compromising. This is just how it is, and I'm okay with a little bit. Thank you for the clarification. That's what's actually taking place. So the dump is, I'm not neutral. That's why we do a neutral SGACC. When we're doing that 60 seconds of neutral SGACC, if you're looking on your phone, if you're doing something else, you have no idea what neutral feels like. That's why I changed the time, the chime. So it's dun, 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 dun. It brings you out of it. So you know if you are overly emotional, if you feel like slapping the shit out of somebody, if you feel like running in a corner and going to hide, you got some anxiety, it's time for a brain dump because your whole brain is not online right now. That's why it's so important. That's why you do bring Miss Darlene online at the beginning of your day. Make up your bed. Do your personal hygiene. Prayer for people who have that. And you keep her online all day long. Because if you don't do a brain dump, Oscar gets a win on the scoreboard. Because you sat there with that. You then make the wrong decision. So you say, hold up, it's too much shit going on. Let me clear my head. Now let me make the best decision in this situation possible. That's how you strengthen Miss Darlene all day long. So it's not just the Neuro Reps. It's bringing her online all day. And when people start peopling and life starts lifing, your brain got to keep braining. even in that. That's why it's be a thermostat, not a thermometer, is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Okay. So everybody, thumbs up that you understand why you are doing brain dumps. For the people who are not driving and are not at work, that can say yes. Daisy said, I learned that I need to be doing more brain dumps whenever I feel like I'm carrying more than I need to. Sarah said, Miss Darlene is at the back of my head where texture of my hair is different than the rest. It reminds me of the voice that people refer to when they say something told me that always gets ignored. That's actually the insula. That's actually alerting you in the ACC. That friction is saying this versus this. And so it is the gut instinct, but I understand what you're saying. So yes, the ACC is like, hey, this is conflict. What's going on? Why are you doing this? And then Oscar makes the suggestion. Miss Darlene doesn't come online. And so then Oscar says, just do the suggestion. So in order for all of this to work, so what we have is Lacey, Lola, Nola, Derek, Shri, Andrea and Jared, and Daisy. Do y'all understand? And if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and put your thumb up in the comment section. Sarah's understanding. Jared, are you working? Because then you won't be able to answer. Andrea, Dr. O, are you there? And drink water for the last time today. Not for the last time on this live. So brain dumps clear your head. Your brain needs to be cleared all day long. If it's not clear, it's time to do a brain dump. It's not something that you schedule. It's happening throughout your day. And there are times when you just have, you chilling. You had a calm, peaceful, quiet day. No reason to do a brain dump. Drink water and enjoy the rest of your day. You too, Lola. Doctor, I'm here. Apologies in the meeting, but responding. Got it. Clear for Jared. Andrea and Tiffany, are y'all here? Or have Tiffany might be getting ready to go to work based upon time. Okay. So in summary, here's what I will say. Jared, yes. Understand the brain dump clarification. Clear. Jared does a thumbs up. Got it. I was clear when you said clear. So here's my final summation for what I'm saying. And drink water from Jared. If you don't know, ask. If something is unclear to you, that's what Ask Dr. Donna is for every day. And then Q&A on Friday with Nola. Then there's a whole Tuesday for Ask Dr. Donna. So ask Dr. Donna. If something is unclear to you, ask Dr. Donna. If we run out of time, there's messages on Instagram to Ask Dr. Donna. Because this is your brain. It's a DIY project. And if you don't know, ask is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. If you don't know, ask. Doesn't matter if 95 other people know. If you don't know, it's stopping your growth and development, then you ask. That's what's happening. Okay, got it. You don't have a thumb emoji, you got a hand emoji. Got it, Daisy. So here is my final thing that I'm going to say. Every last one of you, and I've said this before, represents a specific group of people. You actually are the sample size if we were in a lab with a pen and a pad. None of you are here by accident. Some of you will remain here, and some of you will leave because this work will be discomforting to you neurologically, which will cause discomfort physiologically because you will have to start living your truth. Thankful to the person who left, the level 4 person on Saturday, because I was still giving leeway. And what I am saying is there isn't time for leeway, because every day that you don't do this neurological work is a day that you aren't doing the work towards doing what you came here to do. And I don't think that you all understand that. I think that most of you still believe that you are hoi polloi, and that's unfortunate, even for people who've been here for a minute. And so in your amazing brain, the dysregulated portion can't fathom that you actually matter in this work. And that's unfortunate. You can't believe that you somehow were on social media, YouTube or TikTok, and this lady showed up, and then you said, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna start doing some Neuro Reps. That is actually divine intervention. And it's actually you, a chosen person, to come and represent a select group of people that you represent to do this work. Because I'm not gay. I don't know if y'all heard my stories, but I like a tall, dark, handsome man with no tattoos and a low haircut or a bald head. I do. I think, wow, let's look at that work of art over there. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. So that's my kryptonite. Hence, I'm like, nah. So I can't speak to the LGBT community. I don't know if y'all know this, even though I look like my daddy, I'm not a heterosexual man. So I can't speak directly to my community because that's not my community. I am not a parent of multiple children. So I have been pregnant one time and y'all saw her. That's it. So I didn't stay married. So I can't speak to people who stayed married or got married, got divorced and got married and are in a long-term relationship. I'm not even in a committed relationship right now, but some of you are. Some of you have a live-in situationship that you have. That's not me. That's you. I don't have 3 children. I don't have 4 children. I don't even have pets. So my pet was regulated, Sandra. I made her a real leader too. So you come here to get this information, to tell your group. That's why Regina is here. She's the oldest boomer. So she can speak to boomers and say, yeah, this works. Regina is a Buddhist. Lola is a Muslim. Some of you might be Catholic. Some of you might be Hasidic Jews. I don't know. We had a Wiccan before. An agnostic. So your job is to, I sure did. So your job is to get this to be able to speak to your people. Without Jared doing this work, there is no Desmond, there is no Derek, there is no Dr. Olagun, there is no Al. There isn't. Chris is a gay man in a committed relationship. So guess who Chris is going to talk to? Sarah and Jennifer. Guess who they're going to go talk to? Do y'all get that? Do y'all understand the importance of who you are here? You matter. You represent a subgroup. And I'm not saying that all people are the same, but Lacey is a foodie. A foodie ain't going to listen to a motherfucker that weigh 123 pounds, who been the same size since they was in high school. I can't tell a foodie nothing. But Lacey speaks foodie. Do you understand that? Sorry, you here. You speak alcoholic. So that's why we're all here. Because that's how the world changes, by people speaking to people. That's how this works. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So when I'm telling you to do something and I'm telling you to say, every time somebody left, that subgroup left with them. Feezy from the Gleazy was for people doing 420, millennials from the cut, heterosexual single men with no children. That's who he was representing, and he quit. So we can't talk to that group right now, unfortunately. That's unfortunate. But we can't talk to them right now. And that hurts my soul, but I can't wait for them. I will show up on somebody else's page and then speak to that. Nola, multiple doggone mental illnesses, and she got scoliosis. And she's here before your brain turns 25. She had Envy and she had Zoe, and both of them left. So now we only got one person representing people from 18 to 25, while your brain still ain't fully developed yet. So every last one of y'all are important. Every last one of y'all, because it's not an accident. It's only 14 people on this live right now. That my live ain't never had more than 160 something people. That day that it kept going up, that was a glitch. So when I show up on your page, this shit wasn't a fucking accident. You actually fucking matter to this work. And the fact that you can't, I get frustrated. Because I'm like, do you understand the significance of your your life right now. Daisy, whoa. Sometimes I just have to go in the shower and scream. Damn, I see how important this work really is on a deeper level. So every fucking neuro rep you do matters. But I gotta set standards. I can't be waiting. That's why Zoe said you care too much. I gotta care. The world gotta fucking change. Humanity gotta fucking change. I'm tired of living in this world full of Oscar-fied fucking brains. And it's my fucking assignment. So I don't get to fucking quit. 991 fucking days, I don't get to quit. 39 fucking years, and I don't get to quit. I don't get to stop. It didn't show up, Andrea. Do y'all understand how important and magnificent and beautifully and wonderfully made you are? Olawashe, you talking about you don't know that you a genius, then I don't know who the fuck is. Who is? Y'all all are. So stop, please, stop. Make my job just a little bit simpler and fucking stay and do the work. Just a little bit. Give me a little bit of relief that you gonna stay for your demographic. Just stay for a little while. Play Jodeci. Don't talk. Just listen. Stay for a little while. Can you do that? For the people coming behind you, can you plant a tree for which shade you will never fucking sit? Can you do that for the people coming behind you? Can you do the neurological work so when someone looks at you and you got on a neuromobility t-shirt and they say, what the fuck is that? Sit down. Let me tell you what it is. Let me tell you about the baddest motherfucker walking the face of the planet Earth. And we peers. Can you do that? Can you stay sober for the people who can't stay sober? Lacey, staying thin for the people who can't. So she can say, listen here, I speak foodie, motherfucker. You ain't fooling nobody. She ain't gonna say motherfucker, but I will. Jared saying it. Feeling. He's feeling now. As a heterosexual African-American man who hid his feelings because he got daddy issues, he feeling now. And he looking at his youngest son and saying, man, he ain't feeling shit. Fuck, I did that. Let me do something about that. Every last one of you matter to your subgroup. That's why none of us are the same. If you put us in a room, they'd be like, how the fuck they know each other? Where they meet at? What job do all them people work at? Them people should be retired. Them some old people. And what's the young person doing with that old person over there? Is this the LGBTQ community? No, but those people are straight. What's happening? How did they meet? Did they meet up? Is this a Toastmaster club? Every last one of you matter. Every last one of you. As soon as somebody don't make it, I got to reconcile with that shit like, fuck. Now we ain't got a drunk. Fuck! And then here comes Sarah. Now we ain't got a foodie. You understand what I'm saying? Now we don't have a single person that's never been married and don't have children. Fuck! That's 35 years old. That's the millennial. People got to be in every fucking age group. We don't have nobody from the silent generation. The A's ain't old enough yet. So every last one of y'all matters. Every last one of y'all matters. And I know you fucking feel like how I matter. If anybody's a Christian, David took down motherfucking Goliath with 5 rocks and a motherfucking slingshot and he was a kid. Everybody matters. Everybody matters. We ain't got Keisha patting her frontal like, I bet you need a nail. Shit. Long ass nails coming in here. We need cinnamon ass at the strip club saying, hey, but have you heard about your dorsolateral? Do you understand what I'm saying? That's how it gets done. Because everybody ain't going to listen to me. Because of the internet, I couldn't have did this shit 15 years ago. But I heard the call 15 years ago, 16 years ago. Neuroscience started becoming available. I'm leaving Frito-Lay. And now we all merge right now. Couldn't have did this shit 10 years ago. Not like this. So you matter. You fucking count. But you got to put the fucking work in. Yes, cinnamon and butter, whomever else. Chocolate and pressure coming to the stage. You know what I mean? In the VIP room. It goes down in the VIP room. She can have a flip chart. So this your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex and this Miss Brenda Jones. Now Oscar trying to touch me, bitch. You got to practice inhibitory control. They said no touching in the VIP room. Why not? Why not? The world is some bull. If we don't do something, it's like the army shrinks when we choose hoi polloi. Right. That's what I'm saying. So I'm tired of y'all not thinking that y'all came over here fucking accident. You didn't come here on no fucking accident. You here on motherfucking purpose. You here on motherfucking purpose. Stop acting like you don't have a purpose. You do. You're getting ready to change people where you are, not where I am. Ain't no fucking Dr. Donaites up in this bitch. Are we fucking clear? Daisy, you got to get this shit right. So if I turn into Big Mama, if I'm yelling and cursing, I got reasons too. Because, you know, y'all, I've been at this for a very long time. And people keep dropping the fuck off. Okay. Now what do I need to change? Now what do I need to do? 991 fucking days, 39 damn years, y'all. Come on. Come on and fucking stay and get this work done. You matter. You fucking matter. You fucking matter for the bigger picture. You matter. Nobody has the same fucking job. Nobody don't have the same job. You ever be on somebody's page and there's 5 fucking people with the same job? 5 fucking friend groups. Nobody don't have the same hobbies. Nobody is the same. Y'all don't think that that's not divine intervention? Nobody, even Dr. Olagun and Olawashe, don't even have the fucking same profession, and they married to each other. You don't think that? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? That TikTok sound. Nobody has the same nothing. Nothing. Every last one of us is different. Even if we got similar military, we've been in the military, we don't even have the same fucking MOS. You got Chris, and Anita, Desmond, and me. Desmond and Chris was in the Navy. Me and Anita was in the Army. We need a Marine. We need somebody from the Coast Guard. Do y'all understand? It's fucking like Noah building the fucking ark. One of everything. Pairs of everything. And everybody like, oh, look at this dumb motherfucking building. Ain't gonna be no fucking drought. I mean, rain. We're in a drought. Why are you building a ship? You do as many fucking brain dumps as it takes. You do this work. And yes, you have to fucking go if you're not doing this work because you're holding the spot for somebody else to come in. You're holding up spots, and I can't be bringing you along. Come on, you can do it. Hey, you can do it. Hey, you can do it. Do what I built. Use the fucking system. So when somebody says, I just don't know, but does it work in boomer brains? Yes, as a matter of fact, Regina, would you like to speak? But what about ADHD? Bridget and Nola, would you like to speak? Jennifer, would you like to speak? Well, what about people with chronic illnesses? Because they're going to keep asking that shit. Well, I don't know, but does it work for the gays? Well, but what about heterosexual men? It's like, yeah, it works for them too, because you get, but do they have a brain? They have a brain. So you just need a brain. You should be 18 and a brain. Let's see. We can't get to that. Because you over here thinking you not the one. I'm saying bad motherfucker. You're like, well, I don't know. And then, well, what is the physical description of a bad motherfucker? Ain't one. It's a neurological description. This bitch up here. This motherfucking mechanism up here. Right here. That part. Okay? So if you got to go, you got to go. Because not one person is bigger than this. But the whole demographic. Because let me say this. You ever went somewhere and the right shit ain't there for you? You ever tried to go buy some clothes, my ass included, because I ain't never been the right size, and you like, why they ain't make no clothes for, but why they don't have no, you ever had that problem? You want to know why? Because the person that was supposed to make that for you did not do the work in the boardroom to get in the room to make sure that you had the shit that you needed. They never did that work. So now, at your cerulean blue level, you get ready to go somewhere, and it ain't there. Because the person whose responsibility was for it to be there wasn't there. That's why we won't have it. That's why it's not there. Because they never did it. Exactly. In Southeast Asia, Shri. So they didn't do that. So that's why it's not there. And now, whatever the fuck we don't have over here is because the people that left didn't fucking stay to make sure that it was here. Lacey learns by seeing. So 2 new graphics showed up for the people who are visual learners because she was like, I can't see it. And she done took what I sent her because I said use chat. It ain't the devil. She put it in chat based upon my other graphics. Chat knows I'm there. Oh, this is neuropability. Boom. And now there are two new graphics that y'all can use, that y'all can see to see what brain fog is. Because I am me. I can't see everything. I did a lot, but there's still a whole lot. Dr. Oligodendrocytes sent me very long messages and schooled me yesterday on some stuff that I was like, no, don't let the kids say this, don't. And they're like, no. Kids need to see a superhero. Okay, fine, fuck it. Jared says, I don't like when you say that. Now all y'all getting copies of my book. Andrea says, well, if you ever do merch, and now there's about to be a merch opportunity August 13th. You see how that works? Because you all are telling me what's missing. I'll say something on a live and I think it's important, and then somebody's going to repeat it. And I'm like, oh, well, damn, that did have value or meaning. That's why it has to be diverse. That's why embrace diversity is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So don't phone in a fucking Neuro Rep. Don't take anything that I say lightly or anything that you hear lightly, because someone else needs to see what you look like. How do I know this? NOLA has clients from every different ethnic background that you can see. Why? Because when they see somebody that looks like them with a 5-star review, they say, I trust them, so I'm going to trust her too. That's what's happening. So everybody don't resonate with me. That's why the real leader brain is a cartoon character. That's why it's not no people, because I go, I don't see any native indigenous people on there. Well, all she got over there is African Americans. Well, all she got over there is women. People mad because the real leader brain is a man instead of a woman, but that would only attract women. I said that before. I get to fucking choose. This is my shit. So you over here thinking that your shit ain't fucking important because you one of. You are the only right now. You're the only. Not one of, the only. And that's different. You're the only one representing your demographic. You can't fucking fail. Because that means that somebody else gonna get over here. You know how many men came and left because there wasn't a man staying doing this work? So they like, yeah, that can't be that much. Yeah, that ain't shit. And then Jared stays and does the real work. And now there's more real African-American heterosexual men here with families. You think they would have been here if it was by themselves? They'd be like, that's a bunch of cackling ass women over there. And let me move on. So from this fucking day forward, and if you're watching on the fucking replay, you represent a demographic group that I can't represent, physically or otherwise. I'm an old head. I'm 53, so I can't represent 35-year-olds because I'm 50 fucking 3. I'm menopaused. That's who I'm representing. But everybody has a motherfucking brain, and everybody deserves the right to know how this works. And sometimes when your brain ain't developed, Oscar needs to see something they can predict, and it is predictable. So there ain't no friction. People see me, yelling ass, angry African-American woman. She cussed too much. That's Oscar talking. But then when you see something that's similar to somebody else that you see within yourself, you're like, all right, fuck it. I'll do some Neuro Reps. Cinnamon over there doing Neuro Reps. She work in Magic City. I fuck with her, so fuck it. I'm going to do some Neuro Reps. That's what this work is about. Do you understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? 39 years, 991 consecutive days, 13,500 YouTube videos and counting. Still doing this fucking work. Even when somebody's like, no, I'm done. I don't want to understand that done. I don't watch your stuff. Still soft. That's what that shit sounds like to me. You made it all the way the fuck over here. This is where you supposed to fucking be. Now do the damn work. So somebody else can see you and go, I could do the work too. That's how this shit is gonna fucking change. Grassroots up in this bitch. Nothing else. I don't fucking feel like doing this. Y'all think that if I have, you seen my resume? I could do a bunch of other shit. This wasn't on my bingo card. Let me fucking tell you. It wasn't. Right. You do not talk like that, Dr. Oligodendrocytes. How did I say you talk? Put the mask on your face first. I understand what you're saying, Jared, but you have led the way. I hear what you're saying. But people are still watching you, whether you see that or not, sir. I get what you're saying, but that other men wouldn't be here. People are going to see this work. And there will be a group of people that say, I got here because I heard this person. I'm a foodie. Everybody. This isn't a fucking accident. So stop acting like it's a coincidence, because it's not. You matter, you count, you got to do the work. You're not going to stay over here and not do the fucking work. That's not how this goes. Do the fucking work. Day in and day out. 2 levels up. Those hezy thoughts sounded like words I used to say and think. Got it. You over here like, oh, this doesn't matter. This is just another program. Notice the fuck not. This shit is changing. Changing humanity. It's changing how people use this motherfucker on a day-to-day basis in their everyday life. That's what is happening. You put a new spin on the importance of the collective's work and gratitude. My pleasure. That part. Okay? So as you grow about your day, I said it. This is life-changing work. It is. It is. And every person that comes over here represents a subgroup. For someone else to see something that looks like them. For someone else to see, okay, if it's possible for them, then it's possible for me. Let me go ahead and learn how my brain works. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me do that part. For myself, for my family, for my grands and my great-grands, and people coming behind me. It's time. 120 years, neuron doctrine been around, and we still don't know how this motherfucker works at the everyday level. It's time. It's time to override all that other bullshit, that Oscar-fied motherfucking existence, and be who you fucking came here to be, and that's a bad motherfucker. Not in the making, but a motherfucking bad motherfucker. Mofo for those of you who don't use profanity. It's not a fucking accident. You gotta get that. It's not an accident. It's on purpose. Timing is everything. Timing is everything. I had to go and do a whole bunch of shit. I had to have a whole bunch of growth opportunities to be able to be here to do this. Y'all saw the fucking graphics from last year, and now I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. And I was like, so your job in this is to do this fucking work. I'll see if I can pin it. I don't know how to pin it. Message me. It'll remind me. And then Nola and I will figure that out. I know how to pin shit on other places. YouTube ain't my favorite. I don't like Google format. Anyway. Are we clear? Are we motherfucking clear? I can't say it any clearer than this. You're not here by fucking accident. You represent a subgroup. You're here to make sure that this works in real life for everybody. I can't say it works for everybody if everybody ain't here. The academics is fucking coming to test this shit. Yeah, it can't work, fella. It's on the internet. It's on YouTube. She's an influencer. She only got 4,000 followers. Nova Southeastern University. D2 school. Oh, yeah. She's the middle-aged fucking menopause old biddy. The old settler. No, she's got an EDD. Can't fucking be her. She's at her house doing lives. No, that's not what's fucking happening. I'm at my house changing brains. While the brain is braining and life is life and people are peopling. Motherfucking bad motherfuckers is being made every fucking day. That's what's actually fucking happening. That's what's actually taking place. So you can have a life that you want to wake up to. You're doing big shit where you are. You ain't confused no more. You're going to work and doing the best more than the best you can. The best is like you're the standard by which excellence is measured. They're like, well, best practices. Let's go see what Sarah is doing. Let's go see what Shree's doing. What is Jared doing? What is Dr. Oligodendrocytes doing? Did we check with Derek? Lacey is the person to go to for event planning. That shit. Bridget is the one that we're going to when we need to know what's happening with Crohn's disease. Shree said, this has ignited a greater sense of responsibility for humanity for sure. Exactly. So that's what this is about. Okay? That's what we're doing. I got sweat dripping all down my back, and I had fucking 4 hot flashes in the last 14 minutes. But it's necessary. That's what we're doing. So you ain't some regular, degular, schmegular motherfucker that followed another regular, degular, schmegular motherfucker with 4,000 followers on YouTube and 14,000 followers on TikTok. You're in the presence of greatness. And that ain't no lie. I'm like a big bad eagle soaring through the motherfucking sky. We gotta get rid of not using our brains. We can't spend another 120 fucking years not knowing how this motherfucker works in our day-to-day lives, navigating through shit with compromises and a reductive ass brain. Oscar making suggestions all fucking day long. No, and no more. So you represent a subgroup. Thank you for the eagle, Derek. I appreciate that. Everybody see the visual? And the eagle is adorable. I don't know if it's going to show up on the replay. Adorable. So as you go about the rest of your motherfucking life, not your day, but your life, understand that you have the ability neurologically to make an impact before you are no longer here. An impact on people's futures because of this thing. You have the neurological capacity to do it. Make an impact. Not a fucking dollar, but an impact. That's different. Where people who you represent cannot have to have this same fucking regular ass hoi polloi fucking higgledy-piggledy ass fucking existence, but they can be extraordinary in their own lives. That they can literally wake up every day with full cognition. We got a bunch of shit that we need from humanity and we can't get to it because it's locked in somebody's fucking Oscar-fied ass brain. Pushed all the way down with some shit on top of it. And they're like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. You find yourself from this day forward thinking about, and I'm going to say this, and I can't believe I'm saying this. You find yourself not being able to do some discomfort shit. You say, what the fuck would Dr. Donna do? Or what would she say in this fucking situation? What principle of real leadership can I use to navigate through this hard-ass, difficult, discomforting, neurological moment? What the fuck can I do that can makes the impossible possible? Persevere during times of adversity, swim upstream. Failure is not an option, and I'm going to be okay being discomforted because be flexible is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. That's what they're there for. That's what they're there for. Use them, all of them, all fucking day long, and then come back and report back, hey, this is what happened. Takeaways. What'd you do to hold yourself personally accountable? What was your takeaways from this? So I can say, okay, cool. Now let me make this. Now let me say this. Now let me create this. I'm taking in the data from your Neuro Reps every fucking day and saying, oh, this is what's needed. Oh, let me say this. Oh, let me prune this. Let me correct this. That's what's happening. You're reporting back every day, starting at level 2 with a Neuro Rep. And I am taking that information from your demographic and saying, here we go. Here we go. Thank you from your demographic. Here we go. Thank you from your demographic. Here we go. Now let me make content for that. Let me address this. Let me say this. Let me provide this graphic for that group. You see how that works? I told y'all this shit is reciprocal. But you got to do your part. I'm going to do mine. I've been doing mine. But you got to do your part too. It's the only way this works. It's the only way we make an actual impact. It's the only way it's actually going to work. Okay? So y'all got work to do and I got work to do and I got to pee. And then I got to go do some other work. And I'll be back tomorrow, God willing, higher power and universe, and it's Pick a Topic Thursday. So every day that you come on Tuesday with 6 questions, every day that you come on Thursday with 6 questions, when you attend with me and Nolan, you're asking real life questions. All of that is helping this work better. It's like an algorithm. It keeps updating. The app that keeps updating and improving, updating and improving. Don't believe me? Go back to January, scroll down the live, go on the live, and scroll all the way back to January 19, 2025, and watch that live and see if it ain't made a difference in 19 months, whatever it is, 20 months, somewhere around there. Y'all go off and do big shit because you are a bad motherfucker. Take care. Adios.